Hello, I'm John Silcox with the Fairfax County Health Department. I'm here with Lauren Lockstamper, who's one of our mosquito biologists in our disease-carrying insects program. And we're here today to talk a little bit about mosquitoes. We are at the start of our mosquito season. It's early May here in Fairfax County, and so we know that just as traditionally when we start to be concerned about mosquitoes, we've had quite a bit of rain recently, but the temperatures are still kind of cool. So what is that kind of looking like for our mosquito season this year?
Okay. Well, mosquito season is really dependent upon the weather. So yeah, having a lot of rainfall right now could potentially impact those mosquito populations, but fortunately we're going to be cool most of the week. So hopefully a lot of this water will dry up before we really start to see a lot of mosquitoes move into it. However, because we've had a lot of rainfall, this is a great time to go out into your own yard and take a look around at containers that are holding water right now. Because if we have a lot of rain and we get water in these containers, we can see mosquitoes coming out of them later on in the summer. So one of the recommendations we have is to get rid of those containers of standing water at least once a week within your yard.
So again, we're talking about mosquitoes and mosquito season, which is kind of the start of mosquito season now here in Fairfax County, and we encourage you to follow us on Facebook and share this video with your friends and family and other folks who can use this great information. Lauren, you've been talking about eliminating those containers of water, and why is that so important that we do that on a regular basis, even weekly?
Yes, so most of the complaint calls we get within the county are due to these little black and white mosquitoes, the Asian tiger mosquito, or Aedes albopictus. And this mosquito, it only reproduces in artificial containers of standing water. They don't like natural sites like ponds or ditches or streams or anything like that. It's the containers of water that we find around our home that they reproduce in. And these mosquitoes are extremely aggressive, daytime biting mosquitoes, and they're the ones that are really making it difficult for you to enjoy your yard this summer.
So we're talking about mosquito prevention, and obviously it starts by getting rid of the sources of standing water where mosquitoes can breed. But some of those sources can be hard to just tip and toss and get rid of the water that way. So what do you recommend for things like bird baths and fountains and things that you can't just tip over?
Yeah, so if you have a container that you can't get rid of, maybe it's a rain barrel, or you got an ornamental pond, or as John said, a large bird bath, maybe you have a big flower pot with a huge saucer underneath and you can't remove that, then we recommend actually using a mosquito larvicide such as mosquito dunks. And these are typically found in your local hardware store, and you always want to make sure you read the label because each dunk can treat up to about 100 square feet, so they can actually be broken into smaller pieces, and they do have to be replaced within the water every 30 days in order to remain effective.
All right, so you've got a few options there, tipping and tossing those containers and then using dunks and other products in order to get rid of that, those mosquito larvae that could be breeding there. So we know that mosquitoes can be a real nuisance, when they're biting us, but they also could spread disease. And that's why we're really concerned about, eliminating those mosquitoes and avoiding those mosquito bites, because they do transmit diseases. We know West Nile is very endemic in our region.
Yeah.
We've heard about some new emerging disease threats like Zika virus, which isn't in our mosquito populations now, but we are seeing it in other parts of the country. So we have to be concerned about that as well. And for those who are traveling to those areas, it's also a concern. How do you prevent the mosquitoes from biting? If they're flying around you, what do you recommend that people do to kind of avoid the bites?
Yeah, so the first thing we recommend is if you can avoid the times when mosquitoes are biting, then that's the best way to avoid mosquito bites. But unfortunately, we all want to spend some time in our yard during the day, and because these little pesky mosquitoes are out there at that time, we've got to do something to protect ourselves. So we recommend wearing long, loose, light-colored clothing dressed to protect yourself. And with that, if you're wearing long sleeves and long pants and it's loose and not tied up against your skin, it's going to create a barrier where the mosquitoes are going to have a much more difficult time to bite you. And in addition to wearing long, loose, light-colored clothing, we also recommend using mosquito repellents. And there's 4 different types of active ingredients that we recommend. Those 4 types are DEET, picaridin, IR3535, and oil of lemon eucalyptus. And you can always find out what type of active ingredient is in your repellent by reading the label of it. And it'll say right on there what's in it. It's also important to make sure that you read the instructions on your repellent or any sort of product you're using to help prevent mosquito bites, because this will tell you how frequently you need to reapply it to your skin. It'll also give you some recommendations like for oil of lemon eucalyptus, they say you shouldn't use it on children over or under 2 years of age.
So obviously using repellents whenever you're going to be spending time outdoors is a great tip for avoiding mosquito bites. And you're showing us one of those products. I know there's some other types of products you can use as well that are a little bit different, that aren't necessarily the pump sprays, but
Yeah.
what else can people use?
So there's not only are there pump sprays, but we also have different aerosol sprays that are out there. And then they also sell repellent wipes. And so these are sort of like, the wet napkins that you can get after you eat dinner somewhere to clean your hands off, but these actually contain mosquito repellent on them. And yet again, if I read the label here, it's going to tell me what the active ingredient in the repellent is, and these are meant to be applied directly to your skin. And I really like using the wipes because I can keep them in my purse or in my pocket, so no matter where I am, if I start getting mosquito bites, I can pull it out and put it on and help prevent them right away.
So once again, we're here with Lauren Lockstamper from our Disease Carrying Insects program, talking about mosquito bite prevention and getting rid of those mosquitoes through source reduction. We encourage you to share this video on Facebook and Twitter and let all your family and friends know about this great information. You were just talking about mosquito repellents, and it's probably important to point out that those are safe to use for pregnant women, even for children, but it's important that when parents are applying the mosquito repellent to children that they certainly go by the label instructions, correct?
Absolutely. So if you are applying repellent to your children, make sure you don't spray it like directly in their face or anything. We actually recommend that you put it on your hands first and then apply it to their face or to their head. And also with children, you want to avoid putting repellent on their hands because kids like to put their hands into their mouths, and we don't want to have them eating any of the repellent.
Obviously, that's good advice. You talked about the different ways you apply repellents. You also talked about those 4 active ingredients that you need to look for. Mm-hmm. Why is it so important that you kind of stick to those 4 active ingredients?
So the 4 active ingredients that I mentioned, which are DEET, picaridin, IR3535, and oil of lemon eucalyptus, have been studied and tested and are actually regulated for use on people, and they've been proven to be effective at repelling mosquito bites. So some of the other things out there haven't had the same stringent testing that's been done on these 4 active ingredients.
And if you're going to be spending time outdoors, let's say a decent amount of time, maybe a full day, how often should you be reapplying the repellent?
Well, like I said, it's important that you read the label of the repellent because depending on the amount of active ingredient or the percentage of active ingredient in it, your reapplication time is going to be different. So typically the higher amount of percentage, the longer that repellent's going to be effective for. And usually if you're using about 30% DEET, which is a recommended repellent, it's going to be effective for about 6 hours or so.
All right. And we know that it is important that when you're applying the repellent, you put the repellent on first before you put on the sunscreen, correct?
Sunscreen.
Put the repellent on first and then you apply your sunscreen, is that right?
I believe it's sunscreen and then repellent.
Is it sunscreen and repellent?
So you want to apply your sunscreen first and then your repellent. And we don't really recommend using products that are a combination because those do have reapplication intervals that are different. So commonly you need to reapply your sunscreen more frequently than you'd need to reapply repellent.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. I know some people have trouble with remembering which one of those to do first, so you've given us good information on that. So we've been talking a lot about mosquito prevention here with Lauren Lockstamper from our Disease Carrying Insects program. We also know that this is kind of the beginning of our tick season as well, and we know ticks can be very active this time of year, and they also can spread diseases that we are concerned about. So what would you recommend they do in order to prevent tick bites as well?
Yeah, so as the same with mosquitoes, if you can avoid those places or those times when ticks are active, then that's going to be the best way to avoid tick bites. But we all like to go out hiking in the woods and enjoy the outdoors here, so people do come into contact with ticks a lot. And one of the ways you can help prevent tick bite is yet again to dress to protect yourself, so long, loose, light-colored clothing. But we also recommend tucking your pants into your socks and then tucking your shirt into your pants. And this will provide a longer barrier that helps prevent, the ticks from actually getting to your skin. But there are some things that you can use to actually treat your clothing to help prevent tick bites. And those are things like permethrin that you can actually spray onto your clothing, and it's very effective at repelling those ticks. And like I said, with any of these repellents or any mosquito larvicides that you use, you want to make sure that you read the label and follow all the instructions that are listed on there.
All right. And once you return indoors after being out, it's probably important to do a tick check as well. What does that involve?
Yeah, so absolutely. Ticks, when they bite, can actually attach just about anywhere on your body. So you're going to want to make sure that after you come in from areas where you know there could be ticks from the outdoors, that you perform a head-to-toe tick check. And you know, there's areas where you have a harder time looking. It's not a bad idea to use a mirror or ask a friend. It's also important that you check your children for ticks when they come back in from playing outdoors and start to teach them how to check themselves as well.
We also perform a service at the health department where we can help identify ticks. Do you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, so at the health department, if you bring us your tick, if you found a tick crawling on you or your child, or if it's bitten you or your child, you can actually take that tick and maybe place it in a plastic bag or, you know, a sealed container of some type, or even between pieces of tape so it can't go anywhere. And if you bring it to us at the health department, we'll identify that tick for you right on the spot for free. And what that helps us know is, well, we know that certain types of ticks transmit certain types of diseases. And we only have one type of tick in this area that can transmit Lyme disease. So ideally, if we can figure out what type of tick has bit you, it's going to help with any sort of recommendations your physician gives you to follow up for treatment or anything like that.
All right. Once again, here with Lauren Lockstamper from our Disease Carrying Insects program, talking about mosquito and tick bite prevention. And we've been talking a lot about the personal protective measures you can do, but here in the county, we also perform some mosquito surveillance and testing throughout our summer. So you want to explain what the health department's doing about mosquito control and prevention?
So the health department actually has about 71 different locations throughout the county where we perform adult mosquito surveillance. We actually set traps out to collect these mosquitoes so we can monitor the population levels, and also so we can test them to see if we have any disease present in the mosquitoes. We also perform inspections on about 1,300 of our stormwater ponds almost every month during the mosquito season. And with those, if we do find mosquito production in the stormwater pond, we're actually treating it on site when we're out there to try to control any mosquitoes before they emerge and cause you guys problems.
So we have trap locations set up throughout the county, and so if you happen to see something in your neighborhood or in your community, please, we ask that you don't disturb the trap sites. We're going to be visiting those frequently throughout the summer to collect those mosquitoes and test them. And as Lauren said, we can test those mosquitoes for certain diseases, and that helps really inform our mosquito prevention and control work throughout the summer. So Lauren, you've given us some great information about not only what the health department is doing about mosquito control and prevention, but also what we can do as individuals to protect ourselves. Let's just run down those key points again. You want to tell us again, what are these important steps to take to eliminate the mosquitoes and avoid the bites?
Absolutely. So number one, get out there and tip and toss and get rid of any container of standing water around your house. If you can remove the container or throw it away, then get rid of it. If you can't remove it or you can't pour the water out of it on a regular basis, then we recommend treating that water with a larvicide such as mosquito dunks. Also, make sure you're dressing to protect yourself when you're out in these areas where mosquitoes and ticks are active. So long, loose, light-colored clothing. Make sure you're wearing repellent when you're out in these areas to help prevent bites as well.
And why don't we go ahead and remind our audience about the rule when it comes to sunscreen and insect repellent. Which one comes first?
So yeah, apply your sunscreen first and then apply your mosquito repellent.
All right, great information. Well, thank you, Lauren, for helping educate our audience a little bit about mosquito and tick bite prevention. If anyone wants to get more information or take advantage of some of the services you offered, where would they go?
So you can check out our website. It's www.fairfaxcounty.gov/fightthebite. Or you can give us a call at 703-246-8931.
And one of those services we should mention as well is we will come out and help people with yard inspections if they're concerned about mosquito breeding.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times, people have a hard time identifying where the mosquitoes are coming from on their property. So you can get a mosquito biologist like myself or some of my colleagues to actually come out to your property and take a look around and help identify those different areas where mosquitoes could be coming from.
And you want to remind us again what those the telephone number and website is?
Yeah, so the website is www.fairfaxcounty.gov/fightthebite, and our phone number is 703-246-8931.
Well, thank you, Lauren, for sharing this great information. Thank you for watching. Please share the video on Facebook and Twitter with your friends and family so we can share this great information throughout our community. And again, John Silcox with the Health Department, Laura Lockstamper with our Disease Carrying Insects program. And great information, Lauren. Thanks for watching and have a great day.